And I have never asked for, nor would I accept, a pardon from President Trump.
I know that in watching and seeing you folks at night, that Michael Cohen lied about the pardon. I know it's a stone-cold lie, and he's lied about a lot of things, but when he lied about the pardon, that was really a lie.
President Trump disputing the congressional testimony of his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen. Cohen's pardon denial contradicts a statement issued by his attorney, Lanny Davis. Well, now House Oversight and Reform Committee Chairman Elijah Cummings saying he will take a closer look at Cohen's full testimony before deciding whether to refer him to the Justice Department for perjury. Let's bring in our legal panel. Chris Stazak is here, former senior investigative counsel for the U.S. Congress, and Robert Schalk, a defense attorney and former prosecutor. Good to have both of you. But I want to start first on this perjury notion here. Bob, I'll start with you. Did Michael Cohen perjure himself? And how does the answer to that question affect the rest of his testimony, both public and private?
Well, Michael Cohen's walking on razor blades because it's such a tight difference between inconsistencies and perjury, which is a known lie. We won't know for sure with regard. I mean, obviously, Lanny Davis came out and said that there was discussions with regards to a pardon. However, Mr. Cohen has not waived his attorney-client privileges for us to fully understand and fully be made aware of what was asked for, when it was asked for, how it was asked for, what he knew, what he didn't know, what he authorized his attorneys to do on his behalf. But if they found that he was aware of this pardon request and he can be investigated and charged with perjury, he's looking at more jail time than the 3 years that he's already facing.
Well, with that in mind, I mean, Chris, why would he perjure himself knowing that he could spend more time in jail? And all those questions that Bob just posed, how difficult are the answers to find at those questions?
Well, it's anybody's guess why he would lie about something like that. In light of the fact that he's already been convicted of lying before Congress, Chairman Cummings and the Oversight Committee gave him a chance to come back to effectively redeem himself. And at the hearing, Chairman Cummings himself said during the open testimony that if Michael Cohen lied again, he would be the first to refer him to DOJ for prosecution. And I worked for Chairman Cummings. He's tough and he's fair and he's a former practicing attorney. Yeah. If he determines that he lied, he will make that referral.
Yeah, Chairman Cummings has been getting great compliments, as he should, the way he's conducting this trial, hearing, I should say. Hey, let me punch up a tweet from the president to Michael Cohen. Here it is. It's from yesterday morning. He says, bad lawyer and fraudster Michael Cohen said under sworn testimony that he never asked for a pardon. His lawyers totally contradicted him. He lied. Additionally, he directly asked me for a pardon. I said no. He lied again. He also badly wanted to work at the White House. He lied. Bob, has President Trump implicated or involved himself with this tweet to a point where he could be subpoenaed to testify?
Yes, but it's highly unlikely. I don't think we would need his testimony. He would obviously, again, in the digital age with regards to letters and text messages and emails, there would be probably more likely than a paper trail implicating Mr. Cohen's request for the pardon. Additionally, is Michael Cohen testifying on Congress because he didn't get the pardon? Did he ask for it, feel like he was being played with, and feel like he was being ignored by Trump, and now he's just going to go to Washington and, for lack of a better term, burn the house down and just try to take Trump to task and make him look worse off than Cohen already is looking by being convicted of lying and having to do this jail time, and he's not getting what he wants.
So, Chris, I mean, could the tweet from President Trump that I just showed be considered as interfering with an ongoing congressional hearing and active federal investigations?
I don't think it could credibly be characterized as that, but I think the issue that it creates, it clearly demonstrates that there's a lot of he said, and it further highlights the fact that Michael Cohen didn't do himself any favors. He didn't do the American people any favors when he testified before Congress, and he had a chance to clear the air, and it seems like he just made it even more cloudy.
Now, Chris, staying with you, Michael Cohen has made it very clear that his testimony, or during his testimony, that he lied for and at the behest of Donald Trump and President Trump. How does that factor in?
Well, that's a great question, Arthel. And what I think that illustrates is that Michael Cohen is very angry, and no lawyer can blame the client for anything. It was Michael Cohen's duty. If any client, Mr. Trump or anybody else, asked him to do something that was illegal, he should have explained to the client that it's illegal, and he won't do it. A lawyer can't blame someone else for breaking the law. He knows better.
Bob, Chris makes a good point.
Great points. And the thing with Cohen right now is, as I said earlier, if he's not getting what he wants, now he's going to blame everybody else. And he obviously wanted it. His lawyers have come out and said that they've asked for it. And they've even said that if they feel as if Trump's team and Trump's lawyers have dangled this pardon in front of him, and like a cat dangling, or a dog dangling food in front of him, he wanted it. They pulled it away. And now he's going on record with everyone. The biggest issue that he's going to potentially cause for himself is he's obviously admitted that he's a cooperating witness in the Southern District of New York's investigation into, potentially the Trump Organization and the financial dealings of the president. Has he now hindered him and himself as a witness, where he can't be trusted by them, and it could ruin their investigation?
Okay. All right. All great points you make, but Chris, I'll go with you, and then Bob will give you the last word. Here's the thing, though. Based on his horrible, reputation, Michael Cohen, that is, does that mean that anything he says and testifies to Congress and any information he gives the Southern District of New York or Mr. Mueller, any of that information is to be just thrown out?
Great question. What it means is that anything Michael Cohen says cannot be taken at face value. What the investigators, both in Congress and the Southern District of New York, or anyone else who decides to talk to Michael Cohen, what they need to do is to independently corroborate what he's saying, either by independent documents or speaking to other witnesses. But literally nothing he says can be taken at face value after his record of lying and his clear animosity toward the president.
So, Bob, final word for you. To Chris's point, Mr. Cohen did bring in show and tell. He brought in paperwork. He has turned over emails and other documentation. So will that help corroborate what he's telling investigators?
Emails, copies of checks, communications, other witnesses who are potentially in the room. The Southern District and Congress has to independently corroborate everything he says. They must. Chris's point is right on. You cannot hitch your wagon to this guy. He's a known liar. He's a convicted liar. And if you don't independently corroborate it, your investigation is going to fall. It's going to be a house of cards.
Bob Schalk, Chris Stazak. I leave it there. We'll talk to you both again. Thank you.
Thanks, Arthel.
Uh-huh.